Frontline stocks are steady a day ahead of the US Federal Reserve's rate decision. Metals and PSU banks are the big drags even as IT stocks gain. Mid-caps are in line with the benchmarks.
India's finance minister tells Network 18 that Q1 of the fiscal FY25 was impacted by lower government capex due to general elections, and growth will pick up as public expenditure picks up in Q2 and Q3.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also said that facts put forth by SEBI Chief Madhavi Puri-Booch refuting the allegations made against her must be taken on board. For investors in equities and FNO, her advice is rely on authentic information.
Sanjeev Bajaj, chairman of Bajaj Housing Finance, says there's a big opportunity to grow in the housing market by outpacing the healthy industry expansion in a large market where the company still commands only a small share. The stock jumps.
And Tata Consumer Products CEO tells CNBC-TV18 that a rural recovery is on, but double-digit growth is still some time away. He, however, expects the salt-to-sauces major to grow its base by 10%, with acquisitions adding another 5 to 6%. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Lunch here on CNBC-TV18. I'm Hormuz Patakia. With me is Vinny Motiwala. Good afternoon, Vinny. It looks to be like a good second half for the benchmark indices. The Nifty almost nearing record high levels. So let's take a look at how the benchmark indices are faring this afternoon. We are almost at record high levels now. 25,445 is that level that we need to track. At the highest point of the day, the Nifty had hit levels of 25,436. So almost there within 10 points of those record high levels. But the Nifty Bank is the index that you would need to keep an eye out for, is building on to the gains that it made earlier in the morning at the highest point of the day as well. 100 points now on the Nifty Bank. 52,250 is that level, and the Nifty Bank also needs to be watched out for because of the fact that it's the financial services expiry today. So that will keep the Nifty Bank in focus in the second half of the trading session. IT stocks are contributing to the gains in today's session. The Nifty IT is the top sectoral gainer, 0.4% higher, and those are the ones that are leading the charge. IT and banks, along with some contribution coming in from the FMCG stocks as well. So good going overall for the benchmark indices, but you can't say the same, I guess, for the broader markets.
Yes, not much interest coming in for the broader markets. Yesterday it was a different story, right? Broader markets were outperforming. Today we're seeing the Nifty mid as well as the small cap seeing a bit of an underperformance coming in. Nifty mid cap down almost 0.1%, though recovered from the day's lowest point. Small cap quite in the range. It's almost down 0.4% in trade. You know, individual names today are buzzing on the back of some of the brokerages. So something like an IGL, MGL, they are buzzing on positive brokerage notes. We have Ola Electric that's buzzing because BofA as well as Goldman Sachs that has given a buy rating for Ola Electric. So yes, on the back of that, Ola Electric managing to hold on to good gains, as well as Neogen that is also buzzing in trade on the back of a brokerage note. So yes, a lot of action that's happening in individual names that we're seeing almost, but not much of an excitement overall for the mid and small cap. Overall, not an exciting day coming in. Autos, we have only Hero Moto, Bajaj Auto on the Nifty 50 side, which is managing to hold on to some bit of a gain. But let's begin with the business lunch by focusing on Bajaj Housing Finance. Second consecutive day of gain that we're seeing coming in for the stock again, and after a blockbuster debut that we saw yesterday. Now, the chairman and the MD, Sanjeev Bajaj, says that there is a big opportunity to grow in the housing market in India, and adds India's property market is far different from China. Let's listen in.
With 30 to 15% growth rates that we're projecting for the industry in coming years, and our own ambition is to outgrow that, we see this as a very significant positive opportunity. And if you look at Bajaj Housing Finance, we are still a very small part of the larger market. So that's why we see that the opportunity for growth remains very strong. Our own business is also reasonably well diversified even within the mortgage space. So not only do we do retail home loans to various income segments, but we also lend to developers for construction. We do corporate lease rental discounting. We do loan against property. So what we have done is each of these many segments have their own growth opportunities, their own risk levels. They go through cycles. By being present in each one of them and also organically growing every couple of years into the next set of cities, it's helping us grow with the right quality. It just shows that the large population in India is the youth with their, and they're hungry. They're hungry to invest, they're hungry to save, they're hungry to grow. When we look at our home lending business, we are naturally present across income segments, but increasingly we are seeing at the younger age band, people are applying for home loans, people want to go and invest in that property. And while we do see a certain mobile youth that prefers renting and moving from one city to another for new jobs every 4 or 5 years, that also creates its own demand for homes. And maybe it's starting to create a little bit of an investor opportunity there as well. It is almost entirely private sector led. And that brings both opportunity and risk being measured in a very different way than you're being publicly funded. There is very clearly a linkage between supply and demand. So we are seeing in the last couple of years, for the first time in close to a decade, that inventory of homes, of new homes, has fallen, which means the cycle to build the next set of homes will accelerate. There's something that happens every year, but this will accelerate. So our situation is very different from China's situation. And that's why it gives me hope that as we are growing this business, not only will we grow top line responsibly, but bottom line as well.
Another day, another good day for Bajaj Housing Finance. And from one Bajaj company to another, we'll go across to Parikshit now, who's in conversation with Rakesh Sharma, the Executive Director of Bajaj Auto, following the new Triumph motorcycle launch. Parikshit, over to you.
Yes, Bajaj Auto has decided to excite the market ahead of the festive season with new Triumph motorcycles. They'll have 3 Triumph motorcycles in their stable right now. And behind me is the new Speed 400, which has been launched at an ex-showroom price of 2,40,000 rupees. And you also have a new starting level Triumph motorcycle, the T400, which starts at 2,17,000 ex-showroom. What's the strategy behind these new motorcycles? Joining us right now is Mr. Rakesh Sharma, Executive Director of Bajaj Auto. Mr. Sharma, thank you very much for joining us. A new price point, a new starting point to make the bike more accessible to a larger number of people who want to rise up or upgrade to a premium motorcycle. What's the larger strategy behind launching these 2 new variants?
Well, yes, Parikshit, the whole purpose of the Bajaj and Triumph combined was to bring the modern classic category into India and excite the people who love the classic style. Modern classic combines the timeless styling of a classic with cutting-edge performance. If you look at the last 5 years' data, you will see that the classic segment, including the leaders in and the new entrants, has actually shrunk a little bit. And that signals to us that somewhere limits of the previous propositions are being reached. And the customer is looking for something more. And that something more is performance combined with the timeless styling. And it's been about a year, just over a year, since we launched the first 2 bikes. And today we have landed a double punch, where we have further expanded the portfolio to recognize different riding requirements of customers. There is one which wants the more dynamic performance, and for that person, the Speed 400 has been upgraded at 2,40,000. And the more easy rider one, more low-end torque, people who are wanting to for the riding experience to be more manageable. And that is the Speed T4 at a price of 2,17,000.
Right, and you can hear auto enthusiasts and reviewers revving up the motorcycles to test them over here. Mr. Sharma, what I'd like to ask you, give us a sense of how these motorcycles have done for you as of now, since the last 1 year, and how do you expect these new motorcycles to add to the Triumph volumes?
Well, you know, till date, in about 15 months' time, we've sold about 60,000 of these bikes, which is, you know, the Scrambler and the Speed, out of which I think about 30,000, 32,000 have been exported to over 50 countries. Almost 20,000 have been retailed internationally. And there has been excellent reception of these bikes. They've won awards in UK and all. They're doing extremely well in places like Brazil, US, and UK. And we are very, very hopeful of that momentum continuing internationally. In India, we are, for the last couple of months, striking a rate of over 3,000, 3,300 units per month through our 100, 110 stores. And that is putting us at a #2 spot already in the classic segment. We are beating numbers which some of the newer entrants have taken 5 years to reach within 1 year. So that signals again a very, very good acceptance of these bikes. And as the footprint increases, we hope with these two, we will at least increase the business by 50% in India. And we are looking forward to it's very timely. We are looking forward to a promising start next month onwards.
Okay, so how much of a share do you have in premium motorcycles right now, especially in the 350cc plus segment, and how do you expect to grow the pie by the end of this fiscal?
Well, Parikshit, it's very difficult to talk about shares, and we rather look at, the absolute numbers. And the reason for that is that we are taking a graduated approach to expanding the footprint. We are not compromising on the retail experience. And for that reason, it's a calibrated opening of the network. So therefore, if you visit the Triumph showrooms, you will see they're absolutely best in class across the two-wheeler category, and they compare with some of the best internationally too. This is a long-term throw, and we are focusing on building the business in those areas. And some of those cities where we've been around for 1 year with these limited showrooms also, we are striking market shares of upwards of 10 to 15%.
Right. How do you expect to increase the production capacity for the Triumph? The rollout of these bikes will begin this month itself. So what's going to be the increase in capacity that you're looking at now?
Well, our capacity at Chakan 2 for Triumph is at about 10,000 units. And it's very easy to increase that capacity. We will be looking at how the sales build up. The great thing is that as we progress in October and then onwards in January and February, this is the natural low season internationally, because most of the developed markets, whether it's US, Europe, etc., go into the winter months, and therefore the requirement reduces. And this is precisely the time when the domestic requirement will move up. It will give us some good couple of months to assess what kind of capacity increase we need to do beyond 10,000 units in the next couple of months.
Okay, I'd like to shift focus to the PM e-Drive scheme. The uncertainty for the auto industry came to an end last week with the government announcing the PM e-Drive scheme. How does this help the electric two-wheeler segment, and how much of an incentive do you get per scooter?
Well, Parikshit, foremost, like you mentioned as well, the most important thing for an OE like ours is not the quantum of support in itself, but it's the certitude of the policy. And therefore, this announcement of the policy for 2 years is a very, very welcome sign. It signals something very important. It signals that the government is solidly behind enabling this transition from ICE to electric, at least when it comes to two-wheelers and three-wheelers. So the certitude, the stance of the government is very, very welcome. It encourages us to make investments in manufacturing, investments in expansion of the product portfolio. And this speaks very well for us, because as this transition is set into motion in many parts of the world, an absolutely new segment is getting created. And with a strong domestic performance, the development of the capability of electric in the domestic business, we can aspire for leadership at a global level. We, of course, have to compete with the very strong brands coming out of China. But with this acceleration, I think we should be able to have a global play. As far as the incentives are concerned, I think there is some back of the envelope suggests that there is continuity in what was being done in EMPS, but we are waiting for the exact circulars to come out.
Right. Now, this scheme is now going to be for a 2-year period only. How are you preparing for a scenario after 2 years? Would you hope and would you urge the government to consider continuing incentives till 2030, or you feel that Bajaj Auto will be ready for a zero subsidy scenario in 2 years?
See, at a philosophical level, I would say that a subsidy distorts investment and purchase decisions. And while it's great that the government of India has created this bridge so that, these times when the input costs, particularly the cell costs, particularly in the last few years, were very high, in that period, the transition has been set into motion. I think more structural incentives which channel the flow of investment and effort, like PLI, are of far greater importance. So we would certainly advocate the continuation of structural plays like the PLI. The subsidy, we know, is, an outcome of a lot of things, of, balancing the budget, etc. And that's why I said it's good that it's been extended to 2 years. But we, right from the beginning, our approach has been that with or without subsidy, we have to succeed in this business. Right. So all our investments, all our calibrated opening up of the network and building up of the supply chain, the local supply chain, is with that thought process in mind, that we have to take care of all the stakeholders, calibrate the growth, so that with or without the subsidy, we have a strong play.
Tell us about the Chetak ramp-up plan in terms of sales. You have been among the top 3 players in the EV segment. Where do things stand as of now in the month of September? How do you think Bajaj Auto will end this month? Because there is intense competition among the top 3 players.
Yeah. So I think we've been clipping away at a rate of 15 to 20,000 units Chetaks per month, last couple of months. But I think this month we should comfortably cross 20,000. I don't know where exactly the needle will stop. But it puts us in a good number 2, number 3, kind of a strong number 3, or even a number 2 position. We will know at the end of September. But the key point is that in March or April, we were at about 7,000 units. And now we are at, pushing more towards 25,000 units. So that's a remarkable trajectory. And I hope that will continue.
Right. So you're saying you're looking to dispatch over 20,000 vehicles this month. By the end of FY25, how many vehicles do you expect to dispatch in the Chetak sector?
So our capacity right now is 25, which is being 25,000 units per month, which is now being expanded to 30. I think there is very good traction for some of our new products, the Chetak 2901. We have expanded the footprint. The Chetak is now available in 2,900 stores as we speak, small and big, which include exclusive Chetak stores and some of the sub-dealers. When I put it all together, it is going to be in about 2,900 stores. This can be further built up. And we are getting very strong signals. There is a case for a capacity expansion. And we will be moving up the capacity to, 35, 40,000 units, let's say by end of Q4.
Yeah. And
Okay, yes, that was the management of Bajaj Auto. Surely a lot of positive commentary coming in on that front as well, in terms of the new launches as well as Chetak. They're expecting 20,000 units, maybe one could see coming in for Chetak in this month itself. And Triumph, obviously, in some cities, they managed to see a market share of 10 to 15% in some areas. So interesting to watch out for these new launches, a mix of modern versus classic. So keeping an eye on that. Bajaj Auto, as of now, trading near the day's highest point, uptick of 2%. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. More updates on the national front. What's happening there after this short break? Welcome back, and you're watching Business Lunch. Now getting you some important update, a national development that's come in. The Aam Aadmi Party has named Atishi as the Delhi's new Chief Minister. Remember, this comes after the current Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal, announced his decision to step down following his release. Shivani is tracking this update and is joining in with us to give us more details on this. Shivani?
Well, it is a major political development. The Aam Aadmi Party has announced that Atishi will now be the new Chief Minister of Delhi. Sources suggest that Arvind Kejriwal was the one who proposed Atishi's name for the CM post, and all the party leaders were on the same page. Now, the decision comes after the AAP Supremo Arvind Kejriwal, who was recently released on bail, declared that he will be stepping down from the Chief Minister's post. Arvind Kejriwal is set to meet the Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena at 4:30 p.m. today to officially tender his resignation. At 11:30 a.m., all AAP legislators convened at the CM's residence to discuss the future leadership, with Atishi emerging as the party's unanimous choice. Atishi, remember, is a key figure in Aam Aadmi Party's education reforms and currently a cabinet minister, and has also played a pivotal role in Aam Aadmi Party's governance, especially in the time that major leaders from the party, including Arvind Kejriwal and also Manish Sisodia, were in jail in the liquor scam case. Now, she has been a trusted aide of Arvind Kejriwal and is known for her administrative acumen in the party as well. Her rise within the party has been steady, from being an education advisor to winning her first election in 2020. This move marks a shift in Delhi's leadership, as Arvind Kejriwal has been the face of the national capital's government for nearly a decade now. We will have to wait and watch for how this move turns out for the Aam Aadmi Party. Back to you.
Shivani, thanks a lot for that update. Some major political developments there in Delhi. But time for a short break. More news and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Back with us here on Business Lunch. The benchmark indices continue to remain where they were when we started off the show. At least there has been a slight cool off actually from those levels. The Nifty remains at 25,420. But a couple of stocks that I wanted to highlight. Hero MotoCorp is one of them. That stock is the top gainer on the Nifty today, nearing levels of 6,000 now is Hero MotoCorp. Almost 16% the stock has risen in the last 1 month. A solid day of gains for Hero MotoCorp. And the other one that I wanted to pull up is DCX Systems. And that stock is suddenly sprung up to a 5% upper circuit, and that is after it received an industrial license for manufacturing of certain defense equipment. So DCX Systems, 5% upper circuit. The stock has now reversed all the losses of the year and has now turned positive on a year-to-date basis. But before we call time on this edition of Business Lunch, we leave you with visuals from Mumbai's iconic Lal Bagh as the city bids goodbye to the Ganpati at the end of 10 days of festivities, and pray for him to come again soon next year. From Vinny, myself and the team that put this show together, thank you so much for watching. Midcap Radar up next.